Many professionals use AI to increase speed, get things done faster, but this often leads to a decline in their ability to maintain attention. The real problem is they are becoming less attentive while doing it, and they have no idea that it's happening. So, I want to talk to you today about attention as a vital cognitive asset that you can actively protect to enhance the quality of your decisions, relationships, and work. Recognizing this can make you feel more in control of your mental clarity. Because I believe AI used without discipline is quietly eroding our attention. There is a way to use AI that does the opposite. The hidden cost. Here is what I have seen over the last 3 years. In enterprise teams and the knowledge workers I advise, and honestly in myself during periods when I was not paying attention to how I was using these tools. They were using me. People get faster, the output volume goes up, they feel productive. In many cases, the quality just is incredible. But something else changes too. Their tolerance for difficulty drops. Their ability to sit with a hard problem long enough to actually think it through, that starts to entropy. They reach for the prompt before they've spent even 60 seconds with the question. The output may seem fine, coherent emails, accurate summaries, well-structured decks, but the critical judgment behind these may be diminishing. But the thinking that used to happen between the questions and the answer, that gap is closing. And inside that gap is where judgment lives, where wisdom lives, where you live as a professional and as a person. So the cost is not visible in the output. It's only visible in the person. There are 3 modes of attention I want to speak to. I'll give you a framework here. 3 modes of attention. And I use this with everyone I work with on AI integration. The first mode is reactive attention. This is the default state for most people, most of the day. Stimulus, response, notification, reaction, question, answer. You are present, but you're not directing. You're being directed unconsciously. Reactive attention is not bad necessarily. It is necessary. It is the lowest leverage mode you have, like instinct. The second mode is selective attention. This is where you're making choices about what to focus on, who are. You're filtering, prioritizing, narrowing. You are a knowledge worker doing your job. This is where most of your skilled work lives. The third mode is contemplative attention. This is the rarest and most valuable mode. It is not passive. It is a kind of active waiting. You are holding a question, a problem, an idea, and you are letting it develop without forcing it toward an answer. Contemplative attention is where your best thinking happens. It is where synthesis happens. It is where you move from knowing things to understanding them. Now, here's where AI enters the picture. Talking about where AI helps and harms in each mode. AI is genuinely excellent at the reactive layer. Give it a task, get a result. That is real leverage, and there is nothing wrong with using it there. AI can also support selective attention well if you use it to help you filter, organize, and prioritize across large data sets. This is AI as a thinking partner, not as a thinking replacement. It does things that we don't have the time or resources to do, like examine 500 papers on a particular subject. But here's the problem. Most people stop there. They take what AI produces at the selective layer and call it done. They skip the contemplative layer entirely. They never ask, what does this mean for me specifically? What is missing from this answer? What would I have seen that the model cannot? And AI, if you let it, will happily encourage you to skip the layer because AI is already ready with an answer. It never says, sit with this a little longer. It never says, you are not ready to decide yet. That pause, that productive friction, it's not a bug in human thinking. It is where the good stuff lives. So the discipline is not about using AI less. It's about protecting the contemplative layer from being colonized by the reactive layer's speed. Now, for the daily practice, here is the one practice I recommend to every professional I work with. It takes 3 minutes, and you can do it anywhere. Before you open any AI tool to work on something that matters, a decision, a document, a difficult conversation, a strategy question, spend 3 minutes with the question alone first. No phone, no prompt, no search, just you and the question. A well-formulated question, I might add. Write down what you actually think, not what you hope the answer will be, not what you think the right answer should be. Then go to AI. What you find is that your use of the tool completely changes. You are no longer asking it to think for you. You are asking it to extend and pressure test and stress test the thinking you have already begun. That is the difference between AI as a crutch and AI as a genuine cognitive amplifier. 3 minutes every time something matters. That is the practice. Try it. You'll be amazed. Now let's talk about identity. People who use AI well are not people who use it more. They are people who use it with sovereignty over their own attention. They know when to use the tool and when to put it down. They know the difference between a task and a question. They know that speed is not the goal, depth is the goal. And sometimes speed serves depth, sometimes it destroys it. That discernment, knowing when to use AI and when to step back, is a skill you develop through practice, not a feature you can prompt. Building this gives you confidence in your judgment and the output. It is a practice. It is something you deliberately build over time. I have spent over 40 years in technology. I've been using AI tools every day since early 2023. And the thing I am most committed to in my own practice, in the work I do with others, is keeping the human being at the center of the process. Not because AI is dangerous, but because you and I are irreplaceable. Your judgment, your experience, your capacity to pay attention to what actually matters, none of that is done in the model. It is in you. And the goal here today is to keep it there, to keep it in you. Stay human, my friends. Now, if this landed for you, I would invite you to go deeper. I work with thoughtful professionals one-on-one on exactly this, integrating AI into knowledge work without weakening the human judgment at the center of it. Link in the bio. And if you want more of this, subscribe. I publish here every week on AI, attention, wisdom, and what it means to stay human amid all of this. See you next time.